Okay, let's be real. Exam season. It's that time of year, right? Late nights, way too much coffee, and that feeling in the pit of your stomach about that one massive test. We've all been there. But what if you could study smarter, not just harder? Well, it turns out AI might just be the secret weapon we've all been waiting for. Let's get into it. You know that feeling, right? You're looking at a mountain of notes, lectures, and readings, and your head just starts to spin. It's a totally universal feeling. You've put in the work all semester, but trying to remember everything at once? Yeah, that can feel pretty much impossible. And we all know the old study grind. You're staring at a textbook until the words literally start to blur together. You're scrubbing through hours of lecture recordings just to find that one tiny point the professor made. And your notes? They're scattered across what, like 3 different apps and a dozen random documents? It's just a total slog. So naturally, to fight back against this chaos, a lot of us are turning to AI. And the first stop for most students, what's kind of become the new baseline for studying, is what you could call the AI quizbot.
This is where tools like ChatGPT come into play. It's a generalist. You give it a few topics, and it just scans the entire internet to whip up some practice quizzes or summaries for you. And don't get me wrong, it's definitely helpful, but its knowledge is a mile wide and an inch deep.
So a typical prompt from a student looks a little something like this. You just dump the test topics in and ask for some practice problems. And you know what? It works. It'll spit out questions for you. But what if the AI could be more personal? What if it knew exactly what your professor actually taught you? So what is that next level? Well, it's about moving beyond a general assistant to something that's more like your own personal study brain. And this is where things get really, really interesting. So meet NotebookLM. The core difference here is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's a source-grounded AI. That means it doesn't use the whole internet. Nope. Instead, it builds its entire brain using only your materials. Your lecture notes, your class PDFs. It becomes an expert in your specific course. And that's huge because it helps prevent the AI from just making things up or pulling in totally irrelevant info.
And this distinction, it changes everything. A generalist AI, that's like asking a librarian who's skimmed every book in the world. But a source-grounded tool, that's like having a personal tutor who has only read your course materials and knows them inside and out. You're not getting generic answers from the web. You're getting insights based specifically on what's actually going to be on the test. It's the difference between a quick fact check and some seriously deep, personalized learning.
And the best part? Getting started is unbelievably easy. For each class, you just create a new notebook. Then, you just start adding all your sources, your notes, class readings. You can even drop in links to relevant YouTube videos. And then, that's it. You just start asking it questions. It keeps everything organized for you. But here's where it goes from being just a study tool to being something truly powerful. See, this isn't just about asking questions. It's about transforming all those messy study materials into formats that perfectly match your personal learning style. So, if you're a visual learner, you know how draining it is to stare at a giant wall of text. Well, this is where the magic really starts. With basically one click, it can take all of your disconnected notes and instantly turn them into a clear, coherent mind map, showing you exactly how all the key concepts fit together. And this isn't some gimmick. As one student put it, this feature is an absolute lifesaver. It makes complex information easy to digest and, let's be honest, way less boring. It literally turns your passive notes into an active visual guide. Or hey, maybe you learn best by listening. Maybe you're on the go, doing chores, or you just need to give your eyes a break from the screen. Well, NotebookLM can turn all your course materials into a conversational, on-demand podcast just for you. And here's the kicker. This is way more than just a simple audio reader. As another student pointed out, it's interactive. You can actually interrupt the podcast at any time to ask for clarification. So it's less like listening to a boring audiobook and way more like having a real conversation with your own notes. And of course, for those of us who learn by doing, there are interactive flashcards. It's that classic, proven method of active recall, but they're generated instantly from your specific class materials. No more spending hours and hours writing them all out by hand. Just think about that for a second. For a professor to create all these custom tools for you, the mind maps, the podcasts, the flashcards, it would take them hours. With this AI, you get it all in seconds. But what if you could take all of this and combine it into the ultimate study tool? Well, the final, most mind-blowing superpower is turning your notes into a custom explainer video.
And get this, that is the actual opening line from a video that the AI generated from a simple set of lecture notes. I mean, just imagine that. A personalized, high-speed, concentrated study guide created just for you, from your own materials, telling you it's time to go ace that exam. It's an absolute game changer.
So what does all this add up to? We're not just looking at a new study hack here. This kind of technology is fundamentally shifting what it even means to learn. The really big takeaway is this. You're no longer just passively reading your notes. You're now actively creating study tools from them. Your notes transform from these static, boring documents into a dynamic, personal tutor that literally adapts to your unique learning style. It is the absolute definition of studying smarter.
And that leaves us with one final and pretty fascinating question. When the barrier to understanding gets this low, when your own materials can become your best teacher in any format you choose, what becomes possible? What will you learn next?